Hello, and we are live for Dharma Talk Tuesday today. And I gotta say, I know I'm always excited about Dharma Talk Tuesday, but I've literally been looking forward to this Dharma Talk Tuesday with you since mid-September. And the reason is because there is so much juiciness when it comes to what I created and what I manifested and what I used to do it, that I just could not wait to share with you. And now the day has arrived. I can finally spill it all with you, and I know you're going to love it. So as you're hopping on, please say hi. Also, please tag a friend who you think would be interested in learning how to receive divine prophetic wisdom and also to program the energy to manifest your heart's desire, which, by the way, was put there by God. So don't just be a taker with love and receive the information yourself. Be a giver and share it with someone else who you think this would make a really big difference for. Tag them below and hit the share button on this post. Okay, I'm going to dive right in because I'm so excited and I'm going to share it all right now. So in case you have not seen the updates and you have not seen my feed, last week the episode came out where I was on Elevator Pitch, which is sort of like the Entrepreneur Magazine's version of Shark Tank. And it was my privilege and opportunity to be on as one of the individuals pitching my business to investors. So that episode is still live, and I'll post the link here, but basically I created a link for it, so it's really super easy to find, and you can simply just go to thedharmacircle.com/EP, and it'll take you straight to the link. But I'll also post the link here after I'm done here, after I hit share. So thedharmacircle.com/EP, or of course scroll down on my page, and it'll be super easy to find there as well. Lots of comments, lots of likes, and all of that. But essentially what you'll get to see is me pitching my business, the Dharma Circle, to a set of investors in the boardroom. And I've gotten a lot of feedback that I was great on camera, that it looked really easy, that it looked like I was a natural, and I was appreciative and grateful for all that feedback. And the truth is, I was extremely nervous. I was like on the verge of a panic attack. It was really scary. To be honest, it was the scariest thing up until this point in my career that I've ever done in my entire life. It was so scary. And so what I want to share with you is a tool that I use to mitigate the anxiety, because you guys, hearts and likes, if you know what I'm talking about here. How many times have you said no to something because you were afraid? You were afraid of humiliation. You were afraid of looking bad, of falling on your face. You had fear voices in your head that said, you can't, there's no way, you're going to forget your lines. I had all of those things. Let me be honest with you, I had all of those things, but I also had a tool that saved the day, and it allowed me to basically hit the mute button on the feelings and the voices that normally would have caused me to spiral and it would have affected my performance. Okay, so I'm going to share that tool with you in a little bit, but I also want to share some background story with you. So that's where I'm going to start. Okay, so back in the July, beginning of August timeframe, I shared with my clients, with my Mayans, and I share stuff like this with my high-level clients inside that program, that I had a vision of working on the set. And it was a vision of either working with celebrities or working with the behind the scenes, like the crew on the set, on film sets. And that was the vision. I just saw myself on a set. And keep in mind, I'm just a nobody girl from St. Louis. It's not like I grew up in Hollywood or I grew up in the entertainment industry or anything like that at all. So for my heart to start having those visions, it was very unusual. That was never a part of my dream. I've never really been interested in that. It literally just landed in my mind's eye. And when God gives me something like that, when I receive a vision like that, I just humbly say, okay, show me the way and I'll do my part. But it was interesting and exhilarating and scary and exciting to see that vision and then hand it over, surrender, hand it over, do the work, surrender, hand it over, like I do everything else. And so I shared that with my clients, and they were super excited about it as well. But to be honest, I kind of forgot about it. So I shared it with them. I saw it. It was legit. And then I forgot about it. And here is Duke. Once again, I should probably take away this toy on Tuesdays because he does this every Tuesday. Every Tuesday. He's got his toy collection. He's literally he ran across the room to go get this squeaky toy. Do you guys see the tree? Matt and I just put up that tree. Isn't that exciting? Yay. Okay, well, he's done squeaking. So let's go back to the story. All right. So I had the vision and then I forgot about it. Like one does with prophetic, exciting visions, right? So then the beginning of September comes along, maybe not the beginning, maybe it was like September 10th or something like that. And I received a message from my friend and my mentor, Shanda Sumter, and she said, hey, would you like to be on a TV show? And she outlined the whole thing for me, and she basically hooked me up and invited me to be on the show. So a lot of people, they submit applications to be on the show, but I didn't go through that process or anything like that. I got invited. And so she hooked me up and I was like, yeah, even though I had no idea what I was going to pitch. I had no idea what I was going to say. I've never done anything like this in my life. I had no time to prepare because it was 10 days away. Even though. And the reason I'm highlighting that right now is because how many times in your business or in your life do you say yes, even though the fear, even though the I don't know how, even though, is that what you do? Or is it, no, I can't because the fear, because I don't know how, because I have no idea what I'm going to say? Just notice that, because I just, to be honest with you, there were a couple people invited to the opportunity and I just know one of them said no because I don't feel prepared. And that's heartbreaking to me because, I think about my clients and I think about the people in the world. Like, I can't, if I go back and look at every crossroads in my life where I was invited to graduate school in Hong Kong, or before that, where I got the offer letter for a really awesome job in New York City, like super competitive during a recession market. Like, I wasn't prepared for any of that stuff. But I went for it anyway. I had a vision for it anyway. And I said yes anyway, even though I felt completely unqualified, completely not capable, completely insecure and not sure if I could do it. So hearts and likes, if you identify as being the kind of person who says yes, even though. I mean, that's powerful. That's what Dharma Queens do. And it's out of the vision, right? It's out of the vision. So I have a vision of helping more people in the world, thousands of people, millions of people, women especially, understand how to be a Dharma queen, how to have it all, how to create a life of alignment, how to create a life of prosperity and transformation in your purpose, making money from your purpose. That's everything to me. So when you get an opportunity like that, you don't say no because it's in alignment with the vision, right? So I said yes. And I want to share with you that just in a little bit more detail, I literally could not think. I couldn't even think, despite the feeling of, I need to know what I'm going to do. I need to know what I'm going to say. I couldn't even think. And I made it okay that I couldn't even think about what I was going to say or what I was going to do or any of those details until the night before I went on the show. Because in those 10 days, I had many other commitments, including supporting at a big event, including supporting my clients with a bunch of things, so many other commitments. And I let that be okay, right? I let it be okay that I wasn't even going to think about it until the night before. Again, I'm just sharing this with you because these are all things that worked. And so you got to ask yourself, am I willing to do that? And if you're not, that's okay. And that's not good, bad, right, or wrong or anything like that. But these are things that I did that worked. And so you literally can take this and you can apply it to your life. As I'm talking, think about in your life, what in your life can you apply this to? What is a vision or what is something you're working on in your life or something that you're excited? For example, one of my clients, Rush, she's excited about creating a podcast next year. So she's got the vision, she's excited, and we mapped out she's a private client, so we mapped out her 2020 plan and how she's going to be spending her time and where her efforts and where her budget and all of that is going to go. And where we ended up landing was, okay, and this is how the podcast fits in. And it's very specific. It's very clear, and it's different than what she may have thought it was going to be originally. But it came out of that vision. It came out of like, I'm willing to be patient. Really, that's all it is. It's patience. And like put it to the side so I can focus on this thing in front of me, which at the time for me was in front of me before I could go be on the show, was helping at this event and supporting my clients. And I let that be enough, right? So think about the energy drain that you have sometimes when you're stressed about something. Like let's say you have something like 2 weeks from now or 3 weeks from now. Do you ever stress about it starting now? Do you stress about it ahead of time, like weeks and weeks and weeks leading up to it? Like think about what an energy drain that is. Think about how depleting that is. And if you just allowed yourself the space and trusted yourself to know that if you let yourself plan it all out the night before and still not sacrifice quality or performance or results, how much more space and peace and creativity and love and freedom you would give yourself. That could be a breakthrough for you. Like really listen to what I'm saying. Like if you really listen to and hear what I'm saying, this could be a breakthrough for you. I'm telling you, it was a breakthrough for me as I was experiencing it to realize I can literally give myself permission to not stress about this and not worry about it. And it was such a relief, okay? So listen to this. Now it's the night before. Fast forward, fast forward, fast forward. I've let myself have the space to focus on what was in front of me, recognizing I would get to it when I would get to it. And now here we are. The night before, okay? So now we're at the night before, and I literally practiced this pitch probably 100 times, over and over and over and over and over. And the way that it works is you have 60 seconds to do your pitch, and then it's like the elevator pitch, right? And then they press a button, you go up in the elevator to the boardroom, or you go down to the lobby, and then you'll get your chance to pitch, right? Or to talk to the investors. So that's the premise of the show. So you only have 60 seconds, and so then I use that time that evening to connect with mentors, people who I know who would help me, who would provide me great feedback on my pitch. I said it over and over and over again. I received a ton of support from Matt, who supported me in so many different ways, whether it was letting me practice with him to going and getting my sign printed for me, like all kinds of different things. And so I allowed myself to receive the support and just practice and practice. I literally didn't look at my phone. I didn't answer emails. I didn't do anything. I allowed myself to focus on the one task that was in front of me. And I think this is so important to say because we live in a society right now that's made it really okay to be distracted. We live in a society where we've made it's really okay to like be checking your phone, your messages every 30 seconds or 2 minutes or whatever. Like we actually become addicted to that. And this isn't news for you. Like you probably have already watched 1,000, TED Talks on this. But the reason I'm sharing this with you is because to actually put your phone down and just like focus on one thing for 5 hours straight, for a lot of people these days, that's a really big stretch for a variety of reasons. Like a lot of the people I work with say things like, but there's people I need to get back to, or I'm going to feel like I've let them down, or I need to be responsive because they're counting on me. And that all may be true, and obviously there's communication that goes into it. Like my clients knew about this months ago, right? Like they already knew about all of this. And so they knew that I was practicing and that I would be unavailable that evening. So part of it is communication, but also part of it is giving yourself that space to become masterful, to be a pro, to do whatever it takes to perform at that high level. And I just knew that this was the structure that needed to happen in order for me to perform at that high level. Okay, so I literally, even just to share a funny memory with you, I woke up in the middle of the night. It was like 3 o'clock in the morning that night before I went into the studio that early the next morning. And I woke myself up practicing my pitch over and over again in my head. Like that's when you know it's now ingrained in your muscle memory, So that was pretty cool. So we wake up super early, drag all our stuff to the studio. I have like 5 outfits and and I'm just, like making sure I'm all prepared. And we get in. And now I'm starting to feel it. Now I'm really starting to feel it. And this is where the tool comes in that I want to share with you that made such a difference for me. Okay. So I'm in a room, I'm in the green room with a bunch of other people who are pitching. And this is where the tool came in. So the tool is actually something I shared with you earlier in the year. And the tool is something, you may remember me talking about it, called neuroXP. So this is a programming sort of like so Dr. Don Wood is the person who created it. And he has a team that runs, the program now, and it's all online, and it's a course, and it's basically what it basically does is it clears out childhood traumas, the things that are actually still affecting you to this day, whether you realize it or not. It's affecting your decisions, it's affecting your energy, it's affecting your performance, it's affecting everything about your life, whether you realize it or not. And he's able to clear out all of these traumas and optimize the way that the brain works. Okay, and I'm not going to go into more of those details now, but the way that it works is it uses the brain the way that it works to its advantage. And in 4 hours, you clear out the traumas. You clear them forever. And then there's a 28-day integration where it's like, he calls it walking out the behavior. So if you remember me talking about this, you get a statement, a symbol, and an anchor. And so I started to feel anxiety. And every time I felt the anxiety come up, which for me feels like my heart racing, like negative fear thoughts, like, mostly those two things, like my temperature going up, like all of that. So I would do my symbol, my statement, and my anchor, and I literally felt my physiology change. I felt my heart rate decrease. I felt my thoughts kind of go back to that peaceful, neutral place, and I felt myself get grounded again. And then some time would pass, 30 seconds, a minute, 2 minutes, and I'd feel like, this is like a really intense environment. It's like a hurry up and wait kind of environment, right? So I'm feeling it, do my symbol, statement, and anchor, back to neutral, okay? And so this is something I was doing. I even sat down on the floor and started meditating away from everyone and doing one of my Dr. Wood meditations, one of the walking out the behavior meditations, to like really get me grounded into that anchored place, into that very like high optimization, high performance place. Okay. So then it's time for me to go into the set. And the way that it works is it's sort of like a line, like there's one at a time, and they like line you up. Okay. So that's not the best way to describe it, but it's like there's just a system, right? There's a system to how they take you through. So I'm sitting like in the behind the scenes on the set for probably like, I don't know, it was a good like 20, 25 minutes of just sitting there and hearing the other contestants, which could have totally spun me. It could have totally spun me, to be honest with you, because some of them didn't do so well, and it could have freaked me out, right? I could have had several reactions, but it could have freaked me out. And instead, what I was doing was my symbol, my statement, and my anchor. I made it my commitment to myself to stay in alpha brainwave state, which is what the tool does for you. The symbol, statement, and the anchor puts you automatically into alpha brainwave state. Now, let me just do a little caveat here. I was doing, like, Dr. Wood himself comes from a faith-based background, and I'll also tell you, I was also praying, I was also connected to God, I was also doing all of those things. So I just want to be clear, like, I was using basically both of those tools, if you want to call it that. Like, I was tapping into my relationship with God, I was praying, and I was using this very tangible anchor that's rooted in science. Symbol, statement, and anchor. It's proven, it's helped thousands and thousands of people with high performance, right? And with trauma release and all of that. Okay, so then I get to the set and it's my turn. And that's the part that you see when you watch the show. It's like me pressing the button, walking into the elevator, 60 seconds on the clock, ready, go. And you see, like, I killed it. I did such a good job. And at that point, it was like I had the bandwidth, I had the energy to perform at a really high level. And the reason is because my energy wasn't leaking to fear. It wasn't leaking to worry. It wasn't leaking to any kind of survival type of emotions. I was in an alpha state. I was in a high performance state. And so every ATP molecule in my body, to get all sciencey on you, was going towards that moment of high performance, all of it. And as a result, I had a high performance result, okay? And then I'm not gonna say anymore, you can watch the rest. But I will also tell you, just as an added addendum to that, like, think about the vision that I had. Take it all the way back to July. I saw myself on a set. And as I was sitting there doing my symbol, statement, and anchor as I was waiting, I realized this was the vision. I am on a set. There's a film crew. There's the lighting. There's the curtains. Like, it happened. My vision happened. The prophecy is real. It happened. How crazy is that? And like, I'm not unique. I'm not special. Like, you have this too. We all have this capacity. The difference is I'm crazy enough to listen to it. Like, I'm crazy enough to risk. I'm crazy enough to potentially, I'm willing to pay the price of falling on my face and looking bad, even though looking good is really important to me, to be honest with you. Like, think about that. You are no different from me at all. So this is so important for me to share with you, because these are all pieces that you're getting. Like, I would bet you if you actually took the time to sit down and do an emotional cultivation like what I teach, or if there's someone else who you really love to follow in terms of meditation and manifesting, and you sit down and you create the space for God to talk to you, you'll hear some really amazing things. You'll hear your own prophecy. And then your job is to look up and out and say yes when the opportunity comes. And so what I want to do today is allow you the opportunity, like I'm going to give you an opportunity right now to help you understand how to achieve alpha brainwave state, because that's half the battle. Like, if you're in alpha brainwave state, you can actually be present. You can actually like pay attention to what's happening around you and look at it from a place of like a really grounded vision, like a place of vision and a place of truth and a place of what is best for me and for my vision, versus fear and like not enoughness or other things that might drive you. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to post the link here for NeuroXP. I know I've shared it with you before, but I'm going to share it with you one more time, just because I think now you have a really strong example of what it can do for you and what it did for me. And if you're someone who desires to perform and have those little tweaks that allow you to show up at such a high level, if you speak on stages, if you do lives like this, if you do offers, if you run events, if you run retreats, you should definitely be using NeuroXP. Like, you should definitely be using NeuroXP. So I made another pretty link for it. It's just thedharmacircle.com/NeuroXP. So I'll put that here as well. And all you have to do is literally just click the link and then look for the NeuroXP program. And if you have any questions about it, just send me a private message and I'd be happy to share with you. This was such a game changer for me, and I just want you to know I really attribute my success with the result that I achieved, which, spoiler alert, the investors said yes, and you'll see on the show, okay? So it worked out great. It worked out really awesome, and the show's received a lot of publicity and PR, and it's, provided a lot of exposure for the Dharma Circle, which is awesome. And like, so much of my ability to perform under pressure came from having this tool from NeuroXP, symbol, statement, and anchor, okay? So, yeah, if you're interested in learning more, send me a private message. What I'll also do is I'll open up the training I did with Dr. Wood again. So he and I talked about it. He really explains the science behind it. He's a neuroscience and he explains the science behind it. So I'll open that video up as well. And if you just send me a private message, I'll send you the link for it if you want to watch it again. So I'll open it for 72 hours for you to watch it. And then I'm going to need to take it back down. But I really hope this helps you. I hope this makes a difference for you. Matt just finished making us dinner, so I'm going to head over there. And we made some healthy tortilla soup, chicken tortilla soup. So that's what we're going to have for dinner. And I really look forward to hearing from you. I look forward to hearing, like, if you get NeuroXP, what amazing things you manifest and are able to experience and achieve and create, and how you feel, your relationships change, your body changes. Like, it truly is, like, I don't say this about much, but it truly is a life-changing thing. And I'm so excited to share it with you. It's like a high-performance shortcut that I have that I can finally paint the whole picture for you on what a big deal this is. So I hope this inspires you. I hope this makes a difference for you. And I will see you next week on Dharma Talk Tuesday. Bye.